Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well. Thank you so much for the love on my last video. You would have seen me make the 4 cream and rose petal coasters, and I did say in that video I'd love to make a 3-tiered cake stand, and of course a couple of you said that you'd like to see it too, so I'm using you as an excuse as to why I did it. I really did want to try it in the same colour scheme. So this video is how I made the 3-tiered cake stand using exactly the same ingredients as the coasters. So I am using the same gold foil and the cream powder from Resin Pro. I'm also using the rose petals from Polly's Petals. I will link everything down below as well. The resin I'm using is Vista Cascade, same as before, which is perfect for this kind of depth. If you missed the previous video, these are the coasters I made, but I'm doing it differently this time. I'm going to be putting the foil and the roses in the center, and I'm going to be pouring the cream around the outside edge of these moulds. So I divided the resin up into 2 cups, and I've got a little bit of that resin here for the roses and the gold. It depends on what ratio you want, how much you want of each colour. So again, I just used a little bit of resin for the centerpieces, and then the large cup has the majority of that resin in, and in that cup is going to be the cream. Now when you're adding additives to your resin, whether it's mica powder, ink, pigment, paste, whatever you're adding, you really don't want to add more than 5 or 10%. It will have a detrimental effect on the resin and it will find it very hard to cure. So you do see me putting quite a lot of powder in here, but really it's probably not even 1% of the resin actually that I've got in the cup. So because I've got the big, the middle and the small, you just want to add your center in the kind of like ratio of your piece. Do you know what I mean? So I've got quite a lot in that big one and not so much in the baby one. Now the cream, this is such a simple project. The cream is just going to be poured around, and we all know that resin does what it wants. So I'm going to blow it around with a heat gun and then just leave it to do its thing, and hopefully I will come back and I will have some pretty patterns. Now, I do get a lot of questions about using heat with your moulds, and really it's up to the user. What you don't want to do is touch the silicone too long with your heat. This heat gun here, the moulds can really handle this kind of heat gun. I'm just swishing the resin around and I'm not hovering it over the silicone itself. So there's less of a risk of burning. But if you are using like a culinary torch, then you really want to avoid the silicone itself. You just want to hit the resin. So I would really only recommend the culinary torch for bigger pieces, so flat artwork or really wide moulds with a lot of space. So I decided at this point that I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait to add the rose petals. You would have seen in the coasters, all of those rose petals moved pretty much in towards the main cluster, which I knew it would, but I just wasn't thinking, because as always. So yeah, I'm going to wait. I'm going to come back up in half an hour and I'm going to place the rose petals in the cream. Now my aim was to come back after half an hour, but I got sidetracked with TikTok probably. I can't even remember. And this has been an hour, and an hour is too long. Ideally, I didn't want to have to top coat these. I filled the moulds right up to the very top because they're not going to be used for hot produce or hot drinks. I just didn't feel I needed to top coat them. But, famous last words, I didn't come up after half an hour. In fact, I completely forgot. So this is 1 hour later and I'm putting the rose petals down, and I am realising at this point I should have been wearing gloves. First and foremost, I should have been wearing gloves. But also it's really hard to push these petals down, and now my brain is saying no, because I know at this point, I now know I am going to have to top coat these, which again is no big feat. It's just an extra step that I didn't really want to have to take, but it's all okay because I've got time. We've all got time. So yeah, you see me here just pushing them down. They're not going very far because the resin has pretty much cured to the point of sticky. So yeah, the next step is to wait until morning, until it's fully cured, and give these guys a top coat. It is the next morning and I have to say I love the rose petal placement. So leaving it later did work, but I didn't have to leave it an hour. I really should have come back after 30 minutes. But I definitely need to give them a top coat. They've got a rough, they're sticking out of the top, they're protruding. And yeah, as pretty as that is, they do need a top coat. Whatever you're going to put on these trays, it will probably it will probably make them topple over. So the plan is now to tape up the bottoms, and let's go for it. I have used frog tape on these. I didn't go for the latex purely to save time, and the shape on these isn't so awkward. It's a nice flat 90-degree edge, which meant I could frog tape and then just go around with my blade and cut all the excess tape off. Now I want to be as safe as I can here. I've got these flat on my desk. I haven't got them risen up at all, which means any drip off is really going to make my life difficult afterwards. So I am going really, really slowly. Of course, it is sped up for you guys, but I am going so slowly here. I'm making sure that not a single drop goes over that edge because I need it not to. I really need it not to. This one, perfect. This one, disaster. Guys, okay, it was a disaster. The big one flooded big time. It wasn't too bad because I had frog tape underneath. So the next morning, basically what I did was I lifted them off of the plastic. I had one single drip on the little baby there that you see, just showing you here. One drip off there, really, really good result. And on the big one, I had the whole thing had flooded over, but it wasn't so bad because I had the tape on the bottom, but it meant I had to lift it up and use my blade, which I'm about to show you here. Once I peeled all the tape back, I was able to use my crafting knife. You can use a Stanley blade, or a finer crafting knife is definitely easier. And I came up first thing in the morning so that it wasn't fully cured, which meant all of the drip off was still slightly bendy, and it was really easy for me to just use my crafting knife and carve it off the edge. So again, it really wasn't ideal. It was not ideal, but it is fixable. Most mistakes like this are fixable. You can either sand them down or do it right the first time. It's not something I generally do. I'm not gonna lie. I do often think I should change my channel name to like how to not do things perfectly. Nothing I do is ever perfect, and that's fine. But yeah, there you go. Really easy. I just took the edges off there with my craft blade, and yeah, nice edge. And I did exactly the same to the big one, and the middle one I'm pretty sure didn't have any drips, but yeah, gold pen time. I decided to do all three edges in gold just because it would make it stand out more. And then after I'd done the gold edges, I decided to bring that gold up onto the tops of those as well. So then in a little while, you'll see me going around the top, front, right on the front with a bit of gold. So the last few stages, I'm just adding that gold to the tops of each one, and then I'm going to assemble it. But guys, listen, this week has been so crazy busy for me. Honestly, I've worked really, really hard on my channel this week. I had a new banner created for the top of my channel. You might have seen it already. I really love it. I went onto an app called Fiverr, not sponsored, I paid fully. You search for what you want. I found a graphic designer called Zach Wonky, and Zach Wonky created my brand new banner, and the prices were ridiculously reasonable. And yeah, so that's new. Also, I've created an Amazon storefront, so things like this, the 3-tiered tray cake mould stand and the accessories to go with it, that's all going to be linked down below, but now it's under my Amazon storefront. So much easier to see and find everything you need. Instead of reading through my description box, you can just click one link and it's going to take you straight to my Amazon storefront. Another bit of exciting news, honestly, this week, yeah. Another bit of exciting news is that a company called Moulds and Shapes in the Netherlands actually contacted me and asked me if we could do a collaboration. So they have sent me some absolutely stunning moulds to try out, and I have to say, I cannot wait to share that with you. So that video is going to be going out next Saturday. And I'm so excited. But anyway, if you follow me on any other social medias, you will I will be keeping you all updated. back to the video. This kit was really quite easy to put together. A couple of the washers didn't fit on the middle one. It's like the thread was too short, so I had to take the washers off the middle one. But on the bottom and the top, there was enough room for 2 washers and really, really easily screwed together. So super, super happy with it. Of course, this will probably be going up for sale. I won't be using it myself. And if I did use it, I would be using it for makeup. So let me know what you think. I think it matches the coasters perfectly, and I hope you've loved this. And honestly, if you've made it to the end of the video, I just want you to know how much I appreciate you, so thank you so much. Let me know if you made it to the end. And yeah, I hope you love it as much as I love it. Thank you all for all of your support. You're all amazing, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.